What's up, y'all? Y'all can do better than that. Y'all can do a lot better than that. There we go. That's about right.
That's right.
Okay, so we're gonna get right to it. So for the people at home and the people that can't see, there's a screen right here that tells us exactly how much time we get to tell you some truths that are gonna make you very uncomfortable. How many people have been in CPAC before? Okay, this is the awkward part, and this is the growing pains part for the conservative movement, okay? It's called growing pains, not growing chill or growing safe space, okay? This panel is going to deal with the issues on how we as conservatives failed engaging the black community and galvanizing that community, and it cost us an election. So we're gonna get into these questions. We're gonna get straight forward, okay? First and foremost, I wanna direct this question to Angela. They have no idea who I'm gonna answer or send these questions to at all. It's in my phone. First, light one, Angela.
Yes.
What does conservative thought and ideology mean to you?
Wow. So for me personally, well, first what I want to say is I want to thank you for using, this wasn't a panel in the beginning, this was your shot for you to be on stage, but you decided that you wanted to open up this space for all of us to come on here. And I think that that's very courageous of you to share this time with us, and this is what we need in the Republican Party. We need to be highlighting all of the minority voices that are standing for conservatism. Absolutely. For me personally, conservatism is my beliefs. It's where I stand. It's my moral code. It's everything that I stand on and what I believe. And that's what conservatism is to me. And I think that, you know, regardless of our religions, regardless of our skin colors, regardless of our cultures, there are some things that bring us together on common ground. And, you know, that's freedom of speech. We want to make sure that we're protecting the innocence of our children. We want freedom of religion. There are just some things that bring us together as conservatives.
So you said something about freedom of speech, and you're very outspoken.
Yes.
And this is America Uncanceled.
Yes, and they're trying to cancel the kid.
They tried to cancel you a little bit.
Yes,
so,
they are.
And being outspoken and being one of those conservative values, being that freedom of speech, how are you dealing with people trying to go through Twitter and cancel you?
Let's address it. So we know that in this election, there were some things going on in regards to the conspiracy theories with Q, right?
Yeah.
And I think that me as a person, before I ever got into the conservative movement, I've always been an advocate, even if it's for abused children or whether it's for those people that are incarcerated. So I think that any allegations coming forward in regards to any type of abuse when it comes to children deserves to be investigated. It deserves to be made aware of. And I think that, you know, once we find out, you know, whether this is true or not, then we can move on, but we at least have to be able to address it. So right now, you guys may see out in the media a lot of people wanting to cancel me for addressing allegations of child abuse. You're talking to someone that is a survivor of sexual abuse. So that's something that I definitely take to heart. Yeah. We have to cancel the cancel culture, right? Cancel the cancel culture.
So I want to move this over to Adrian. Now, Adrian, this question is kind of a piggyback off of Angela. So because we have these values across Black America, across Brown America, across America, right? We've seen this uptick in Black conservatism. We've seen it, right? You know, millennial Black males over a certain age matriculated towards President Donald Trump. They did. That wasn't an extra thing. They did. So with that, where did the grip of the Democratic Party loosen amongst that group of Democratic Black voters?
So as you mentioned, yes, we did see over the last 4 or 5 years a huge uptick in Black support, mostly due to the influence of President Trump. Yeah. But the question is what happens now, and do those numbers translate to the Republican Party in general once Trump is out of office, which he is at this point? So I think if we were to take and also look at polling numbers and just gauge where Black support is right now, overall, I think there was a large number of support for the president, but not necessarily for the party itself.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason for that, and I think that can change. I do believe that's something that can turn around. It can turn around quickly, but we have to change our messaging. We have to change not necessarily what we're saying, but how we're saying it, because we have conservative principles and conservative values, they work. They work from a financial standpoint. They work in a lot of ways. They're great culturally, long term. This is the way that society would thrive the best in the long term, right?
Go ahead.
But we have to change. But we have to be able to engage with African Americans a little bit better in terms of how we speak to that demographic and some of the things that are said, whether it be through influencers, whether it be through direct party messaging, because we're leaving a lot of people by the wayside who have conservative values, but they don't feel comfortable voting Republican because of how they're talked to.
So I'm immediately going to go to Sonnie on that one, okay?
Give me
This guy's got a suit on. He's going to be super professional and, like, safe. Sonnie, how is the conservative movement and Republicans in general, how are we getting that messaging wrong?
Completely, actually. But if you go back to the idea of us now examining that black men have a conservative streak, I told conservatives that 5 years ago. Like 5 years ago. And every single one was telling me I had lost my mind. They told me I was crazy. They told me I was seeing something that was imaginary. If 5 years ago, this movement would have looked at black men and said they are capitalists, if they had looked at black men and said that they want to be the heads of their households, they want to be fathers to their children, they want to be coaches to their little league teams, if they had looked at black men as something more than a conservative stereotype and talking point, we would not be here talking about the failure of the last 4 years when it comes to black America.
Come on now, Sonnie.
If we had looked at what holds us together as conservatives, so if you want to know what conservatism means, it means conservation of the idea of the individual, that each and every one of us has inherent gifts that we are meant to give this world, and that deserves to be protected, even in black skin.
Come on now.
100%.
When we talk about the idea of the republic, that means that local government has the most power over the people. So when you tell me you're not going to a black community, don't tell me you believe in the republic, because you are lying to me. Anything that uplifts and conserves the idea of the republic starts at the local level. And if you are not willing to do that, then you are lying to me.
Hey,
The last one is the Constitution.
Hold on to some of this.
The last one is the Constitution. If you want your rights protected, if you want your rights defended, you need a base that's big enough to make sure that defense is steadfast. Right now, you don't have it.
Wait.
With the black community,
Sonnie,
you can have it.
Rich.
Yes, sir.
I told y'all it was gonna get awkward and uncomfortable. I told y'all it was gonna be some growing pains. Okay?
That's Sonnie J.
That's right. I want to take it over to Rich real quick. Now we're saying black folks, because there's a lot of black folks up here on this stage. Does the thing that we're talking about right now, one, does it translate into black and brown communities? As well as, question, what is something you'd like to see change in that regard to black and brown communities in the GOP and liberty movement?
So I think, what's up, CPAC? How's everybody doing? I think one of the things that we got to focus on is, I agree with that. There's definitely some barriers, but I also think I want to see more activism. It's not about the Republican coming knocking on my door. It's about me banging down the door to the RNC and telling them, hey, I'm a conservative, I'm here. I matter too. You know, just because I eat rice and beans and I'm a Latino doesn't mean that I don't bleed red, white, and blue like the rest of you. So that, I think, is something that we have to remember. We have to stay focused on that.
How have we failed there? More specifically for brown communities, how have we failed in that regard?
I wouldn't call it a failure because I think it's an area for improvement, and not semantically. I really mean that. I think we've seen gains of Hispanic home ownership, Hispanic median income, unemployment rates going down, really down. So when you look at that, and those are all successes, and I blame one guy. I have a nickname for him. I call him El Trompito, Donaldus Magnus, the 45th president of these United States, El Presidente. And I think he made a difference when he said, "What have you got to lose?"
Yep.
But we need more of that. Yeah. So that's the area for improvement. We need to get out there and do more inviting. But I think people, Hispanics, Hispanos, Latinos, the brethren that are here, we need to be more active. It's not about the party. We're about to take this party over.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's right.
And Maj, and when I say we, I don't mean ethnic minorities. I mean us conservatives.
Yes.
That's right.
100%. Told y'all. I told you. Shemeka, with all of this being said, Democrats still currently have a death grip, all pun intended, okay? I want Shemeka as well as Angela to deal with this. Have a death grip on youth and young adults. How have they been so successful in doing so? And what can we learn from it and apply to ourselves? Because they have been successful with that literal and figurative death grip on, black and brown communities, especially with youth. How have they been able to do that, and how can we kind of right the ship in that regard?
I think they've been able to do that by being more inclusive. And I think that's something that we can learn in the conservative party. There's not just one type of black conservative, and I feel like that's where we failed over the last 4 years. We propped up one type of black conservative, and just because white people like them, it was like, oh yeah, we love her. Oh gosh, she has her own thinking, oh yeah, woo. But that wasn't necessarily who the black people really identify with. And I like to kind of make this analogy. A lot of people are familiar with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. Okay, just say Carlton and Will were both conservatives. Carlton could go to Bel-Air and he could talk to the people of Bel-Air all day long, but you could not send Carlton to Philly to talk to those people. You would have had to send Will to talk to the people who had the same type of life experiences that Will had. Yeah. So when it comes to conservative, being conservative, stop propping up Carlton Banks thinking that Carlton is going to be the one to be able to communicate with the wheels of the conservative party. You're going to have to prop up the wheels so that they can speak the language that people understand and share experiences with. And I think that's how we fail. I feel like the Democrats do a very good job of making sure they have people that represent all around, and that's what we need to do better as conservatives. You can't take Carlton to Philly going, it's not unusual. No, that's not gonna work.
And that was awesome.
Absolutely.
So I just kind of want to piggyback off of what Shemeka is saying. The messenger is just as important as the message. You could have the right message, but the wrong messenger, and people won't get it. So one of the things that I say all the time, and people are like, oh God, Angela, you always say something to make people mad. Well, here's the thing, we gotta face the truth, right? And the truth is that the Democratic Party is really good at playing identity politics. Republicans are not. We're just honest and straightforward, just like our president. We don't care how you take what we say, we're just gonna give it to you. But here's the thing, in doing that, right? In doing that, we have to remember that everybody just can't handle the blunt, honest truth. And there are some times that we're going to have to get in and we're going to have to stand before the people, and they're going to have to hear from somebody that they can relate to. So when you want to send a message out to single black mothers that are struggling on welfare, that are trying to better their lives, then that's when you come get Angela Stanton King, somebody that was on welfare and got off welfare and got her life together and is now a business owner. I mean, you have to make sure that we are putting the identity in our politics as well, because how can we relate if we're not related. And we don't have to be related by blood. We can be related by experience.
Right.
So what I want the Conservative Party to understand, because I myself, along with a lot of other people on this stage, have come up under a very, very huge attack, just like everybody else for standing with this party. And with that sacrifice, we need your support.
Right.
We need your support. We need your support.
Sonnie, is it too late? Is it too late?
Actually, I kind of want to reverse the sentiment for a second, because everybody is speaking like it's something that like we can do. And I know all of our strengths, understand. The first time I made it to the main stage here at CPAC, I was invited by Andrew Breitbart. CPAC didn't want me here. CPAC did not want me here. Andrew Breitbart wanted me here. So Andrew said, if Sonnie doesn't introduce me, I'm not coming. That's how I got here the first time. This time, CPAC did not want me here. I am here because Maj wanted me here. Now, the two things that I got...
CPAC wants you here.
No.
Do y'all want Sonnie here? That's CPAC. That's CPAC. That is CPAC.
We want Sonnie.
That is CPAC.
But this is the thing. And of course, the two things that I carry from Andrew, and I try to make sure I do on Sonnie's Corner, always, is when you have a light, you take that light and you shine it on other people. So shout out for being an Andrew representative. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
The other part is more voices. Always, always, always more voices. It's not restricted to just the voices that are here, but how can you open it up? So when I hear them say, and this, don't take no offense, but truth got to be told, we have to go and knock down the doors of Republicans. Do you know how many doors I've knocked down?
Right.
Do you know how many conservative doors I have knocked down?
So is it too late, or can we right the ship?
That is a question that this audience is going to have to answer. Because if you want the talking points, if you want the stereotypes, if you want the losing by 90%
Right.
for 60, 70, 80 years, if that is what you want, choose insanity and continue to do the same thing expecting different results.
We got 1 minute. Rich, Adrian, I want y'all to both real quickly, briefly, sum it up. Tell me your perspective on how we can right this
well,
ship.
to Sonnie's point, she's right. And when I say knocking down those doors, we need to knock them down together. I'm asking everybody here to help me knock down that door.
Right.
But number one, this is an agenda. This is politics. We all have an agenda. And I believe the agenda in America, this is America. The agenda is liberty, right? The Spanish word for liberty is libertad. This is a libertad agenda that we need to promote and continue to promote it and keep banging down doors.
100%. Adrian?
I think we definitely have the opportunity to kind of right the ship. In addition to kind of piggyback on what Sonnie said, I think we got to stick to our conservative values. Yeah. And a lot of times with Democrats, we see that shift in the goalposts, and they don't really stand by their principles. And a lot of times it doesn't happen on the right either. So let me give you an example. So we say you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. But then when we talk about investing in, let's say, Greenwood Bank, or keeping money in black-owned businesses so that black dollar circulates within the black community, a lot of times we get called racist.
That's racist.
This is true.
So so we have to make sure that we're standing by actual Republican values and conservative principles in our daily interactions with people. And ultimately, I think if we do that, the results will take care of themselves in the long run.
Sure. We got 13 seconds left, everybody. I want to say thank you, a huge thank you to all of the panelists. Thank y'all. Give it up. Stand up. Y'all know this was the most lit panel. We appreciate y'all.